Okay, we have game 5 on the table here, and there's training and annex on the side, which is something to take note of. But on the board itself, there's a lot of draw. There's library to draw, stables, alchemist as well. There's villages and bazaar and inn. You have a plus buy and charm. Charm also looks beautiful on this board. There's so many 5 costs that you would want to get. If you could set up your charm, you would love to do that. There's also black market, which is excellent. So the one thing what you would like the board to have but doesn't really have is a little bit of attraction to really make your engine work. And that is probably what you would most want out of the black market deck here. So alchemist for draw kinda gets destroyed by minion, because minion could just discard your entire hand of alchemists. So maybe you want to go for something with the inn and the library, or maybe the stables, I'm not sure. My opponent opens with 5-2, goes for the minion straight away, which is fine. I'm going to go for black market silver, searching for 5 to get up to one of these 5 costs at some point. So something that I hadn't noticed for the majority of this game is the interaction between black market and the treasures. So this is something Dr. Steelhammer actually pointed out to me after the game. What you can do potentially, he said he wouldn't go for minions at all, right? He said he would just go for inns and libraries and black market. I'm gonna pick up a second black market here. 2 of those I think is the right amount for right now. Right, so he didn't want the minions. In fact, he just wanted some inns and libraries, because what he said is that the black market could stick all of his treasures into play. Right, so I could potentially put all 4 coppers into play here, and then play a library and draw a bunch of cards, 7 cards in this case, which is extremely powerful. There was nothing particularly attractive in that black market. I don't want anything there. I would much rather spend my time picking up a minion. So in case you haven't noticed, I am going for the minion strategy here. Right, I want a bunch of minions, but I'm not neglecting the inn and the library and the stables and the bazaar. They're all very, very good cards, but I think the minion is key for what I want to do. So my opponent's black market actually pulls up ambassador here on turn 6, which I think is well early enough for him to pick up the ambassador. And it looks very, very bad for me here. He obviously has the money to go for it, and he is gonna go for it. No questions about that. So things look a little bit scary for me here. If I'm not able to rip some trash in out of the black market very soon, I could be junked quite heavily for the remainder of this game. So that might single-handedly just swing the game into his favor. I hope to pick up Junk Dealer on this one just from my ESP, which is terrible. There's no trash in there at all for me whatsoever. So I have to just continue along with the minion plan. The more minions I get is the better for me, obviously, and especially so against the Junkin. Here is going to be an in before another minion, actually, because I need the plus actions for my black market, and I do have an opportunity to put back a bunch of good stuff in my deck. I know he has a minion and he could potentially discard my hand, but I was willing to take the chance at this point. So now I am gonna go back for the minions, now that I have a source of plus actions to potentially play both black markets. So like I was saying, the minion I think is the most resilient. Well, the stables is decent too against copper junk anyway. Is most resilient against the junk because you just need one minion in hand, and if the rest of the cards are junk, well, you could just discard it and potentially have a better 4 cards in your next hand. So it kind of draws 4 if you think about it that way. Nothing else draws as much. You would have to set up library for it to draw more than 3 cards. So Tactician was passed up by me here again because I neglected the interaction between Tactician and Black Market. Black Market can stick all your treasures on the table, and then you don't lose the coin, still there, but you don't have to lose it to your Tactician play, for example. You don't have to sacrifice the money. So I just completely missed that. My opponent thought I would pick it up. I decided not to because I wanted to go for the minions, right? If I spent my money on the black mark, on the Tactician, would not have been able to pick up a minion. So here, I am going to pick up something from the black market at this point, which is an expand. So it is some trash in for me against his ambassador. And if I am able to line it up with an estate, there's loads of 5 costs. for me to pick up. So here, Shantytown is decent, but not better than a minion, I feel. So just more minions for me. I'm piling these minions as furiously as I can at this point. Just trying to win that split. I think, especially against the Junkin from the Ambassador, the minion is going to be crucial. Um, Obviously, I need more draw than just the minion in my deck to do things, than just the minions rather to do things, but I think I do need a lot of them to make progress, again, especially against the Ambassador. So I pass up on a silver or a black market here. It just isn't going to do enough for me at this point in the game. I really need to get some trash in, and he turns up remake. Ah, so ah, he got the Ambassador and the remake. I do have the expand, which is nice, but it can only get rid of one card at a time. So discarding here, just trying to attack my opponent, disrupt what he's trying to do. Ambassador loves increased hand size, so if I could decrease his hand size, it'll probably make his Ambassador plays a little bit worse. That is a slight hope that I entertain by playing these minions and discarding here. So this is a nice black market for me, right? I'm able to get a mill plus a minion. The mill works very nice with the minion. I can discard a couple cards, then play my minion to draw a fresh 4 cards. Pretty nice all in all, but my opponent's deck is becoming more and more thin. He has a monument now, so he's gonna start getting the drip VP if he could get everything running very, very smoothly. The one thing I do have going for me is that I did win that minion split quite handsomely. I believe 7-3. I'm not really sure how that happened, but I'm very happy. So I mentioned Charm as well, and I had a lot of fun with Charm in my last match, but I don't think I could set up Charm at this point in the game. I need to be drawing big hand sizes for me to set up the Charm, and I don't think I could do that with the minion. I just want to like cycle through my deck, play good things, cycle again. I think that's the kind of style I have to play at this point, given my situation with the deck size difference. I have a lot more junk, is what I mean. City from the black market is nice, especially with our pile empty. Very, very nice. Very, very nice for me. Here, I thought I was dead in the water here when I saw the Sea Hag come up. He can play that Sea Hag so frequently, nearly every turn. And I don't have an answer. I absolutely don't have an answer for the Sea Hag at this point. But he actually doesn't pick up the Sea Hag, so he picks up the Altar instead. I am much more okay with the Altar than I am with the Sea Hag. The Sea Hag is very disruptive. It gets in your, the curse comes into your deck immediately, landing on top. So you don't even have time to, maybe strengthen your deck somehow before. So you don't even have time to take measures against the curses, right? As soon as the Sea Hag puts a curse in, you have to deal with it right away. So expand here finds another estate, and I'm going to shuffle back all my actions before swinging my hand away with the minion, hopefully looking for a hand of 4 action cards. This is good enough. 3, I'll take 3. Not bad at all. And I think I'm able to actually go through up till the end of my deck here. So the in is actually also very good against the excess junk that I have in my deck. And finally I see a piece of trash in. And also a plus buy, which I don't have, but I would like to have. So Forager is a perfect card to see at this point for me. Going to pick that up in a heartbeat here. And hopefully it could put in some good work for me here, right? I don't think it's enough to deal with the amount of junk that my opponent has put into my deck already, but it is something. I will start to get a little bit thinner, and also I will have the plus buy, which may become influential later. So 9 and 1 buy for me here. I could have picked up a province here because really I need to make the game short, right? At this point my opponent can use the ambassador to junk me out of the game, right? So I have to try to make this game as short as possible so that he doesn't have the opportunity to junk me to oblivion, and also it'll give him less opportunity to use his nicer deck. I don't go for the province just yet. I think I need to put my training token down on the minions before I do that, otherwise I'll stall very, very hard. He manages to get a nobles out the black market, which is nice for him. Here, I thought he would pick up messenger. I really thought he'd pick up messenger because he doesn't have a plus buy yet. Instead, he goes for the diplomat, which is understandable given that he's probably getting attacked with minion every turn here. So that's a reasonable pickup too. But I would have gone for the plus buy because I don't have any yet if I was in his position. I mean, I have the forager, which is real nice. So this is what I'm talking about with the mill. Get rid of these two things. And if I see another minion like I do here, well, get a hand of fresh cards. This masquerade from the black market was a lovely, lovely sight. Lovely sight because he is very, very thin. So it's likely that I'm going to put him in an uncomfortable position every time I play this masquerade. And masquerade actually will get rid of two things from my hand probably. One, I'll pass to him, and two, I'll trash when I have the opportunity to trash from the masquerade. So that's an excellent piece of tech to see this late in the game. I was thrilled to see that masquerade. Here, I again managed to get up to the end of the deck, so I'm still holding on a little bit here, you know, able to see most of my minions, if not all. And I actually come up with 12 here and 2 buys. So again, I entertain thoughts of the province, right? I need to try to make the game as short as possible for reasons explained before. So maybe I should start going for the provinces right away. Instead, I still decide to hold on a little bit. By that, I mean I didn't go for province. I picked up a library here and an inn. And an inn. So this is a nice play, like near the end of the deck I could use the library and then the inn will shuffle back a bunch of action cards. So I know my opponent has his minion and he'll probably discard it, but I am putting back I think more than 5 action cards, so maybe I'll still have a decent turn even if he discards my initial hand of 5. So luckily the inn is in the bottom too, so I will see the inn when he attacks me. I say when because at this point that's really the most likely thing to happen, and here we go, here comes the attack and a couple ins in my hand, so not the worst thing in the world, right? I am holding up here even through the junk, which, you know, I'm thankful for. Lucky that the deck is behaving so nicely and just trying to make the most of it here. So my opponent buys back a copper on that turn. He also picked up a grand market, so now he has a source of plus buy, right? So now he's really starting to come along very good. I assume he wanted the copper just so he could junk me with the ambassador, in which case he should have picked up a curse. But he goes for the copper instead. He actually uses that copper with, to offer to his altar actually, instead of the ambassador, I believe. So maybe that's why he didn't go for the curse right away. The curse instead of the copper. It wasn't to junk me, it was just something to sacrifice to the altar. So here my library comes out, puts in some work, very nice, drawing a bunch of cards for me, I think 4 cards. Excellent, excellent, and the masquerade is going to come out for the first time here. I am able to pass over a copper. Actually, I was going to pass the copper, but then it drew me into an estate, so you know what, breppert, take the estate, give me something good. Border village, I'll have it. I'll happily have it. The villages are important in black market games because, you know, the attractive targets are the terminals usually. To play terminals you need villages. The mill comes out here and I'm able to see a bunch of my minions, so able to use a lot of them for money, and with the training token on it now, look at this cash. Lots and lots of cash. Up to the end of the deck again, so again, good draws for me. Happy about that. And I have an opportunity here. I thought about the trading post, but no, it's too late for trading post. And then I thought about the ranger. So the ranger can draw me cards every other time it's played, but more importantly with the ranger is the plus buy, and that is a more influential reason for me picking up the ranger than the cards at this point. Because look, I was almost up to 24 there. That's 3 provinces. It would be a shame if I had money to buy 3 provinces but not the buys, right? And if I get the ranger on a turn when it draws, maybe I could get up to 24 and threaten triple province. So I have some threats around, something my opponent has to think about. He picks up a masterpiece with 2 silvers out of the black market there. Presumably he's searching for some economy because he doesn't have any more treasures from his deck. He gets rid of his ambassador here, so I'm happy to see that. He can't be junking me with curses now. Very happy to see that. Our minion gets rid of a good hand. Unfortunately, puts me in a scary position here, but I am going to be able to draw out of it because I've just been drawing well for this whole game, thankfully. So here, my opponent goes for a second monument, I believe, and puts his training token down on the bazaars, which is fine. Right, he did have a bunch of extra money there, but he was unable to use it given that just the one extra buy doesn't have any more buys outside of that grand market. So that is the thing that's constraining him right now. He could actually go for a charm quite happily here and just make proper use of the charms, but I'm not given an opportunity to pick up the charm. I'm going to push the game down to the end here because I see now the capacity of my deck. Feel like I could threaten a lot of things. I have this expand, which he does not have, and I can make magic happen with this expand. Meaning I could get a province off the expand on one turn or something. So for example, here I can expand the minion into a province. That's awful. No, I'm not going to do that, but I could. But what I can do, and what I will do here, is expand a province into a province, mill a province effectively, take one out of the game. So we're playing with a pile of 7 provinces right now, of which I have 2 already. And if I get up to 3 or 4, well, 4 is already more than half. So I should be looking good there. So here I didn't play the black market because I was thinking I wanted to play the mask coming up here, but unfortunately I should have checked better for this, right? I can't trigger that shuffle. There's too many junk cards in that shuffle, so I don't get to play my forager or my mask, which is unfortunate. It does also mean I don't get as much money as I had last time, right? Only 12 this time, so just enough for a single province, and no monument, no black market, no silver, none of those things help me. Right? They're all just junk to me at this point. Right now I need to be able to see my minions to keep this deck afloat, right? Remember, it's a lot worse than my opponent. Look at this. Fresh shuffle and I draw this, right? Thankfully he's going to attack me, because that's generally what's been going on for the last little while. So I'm very happy he'll attack this hand. Does mean a lot of junk goes away. He does make me wait for a very long time though before attacking me. I think he uses only his very last minion for the attack, so I was worried that he would just leave me with this hand here. A bridge troll for my opponent, and that is pretty strong for him, right? He'll get the extra buy plus cost reduction at this point, which is fantastic for him. He might even be able to get up to triple province here with the bridge troll. By this point we've seen everything in the black market, so we've probably taken all the good stuff out of it. There goes the minion attack, and now I have some life back in my turn here. So he actually falls a little bit short of triple province, but in any case, that's dangerous for him to do because I've demonstrated that, look, I can get up to triple province myself here. Or with the expand, or with just raw money, for example. So he is just going to take some duchies at this point, and a province. So duchy province, I believe, was his play, right? Which does open up an opportunity for me to pile out the game, right? You can't leave 3 provinces there for me. I have demonstrated, or you have seen that I do have the capacity to do so, to get 3 provinces. 4 is difficult for me to get, but 3 I could do. 3 I can do. So it's just a matter of sequencing the cards properly on this last turn here to get the most out of my turn, looking for that pile out, right? Looking for that pile out. Right now I'm ahead on the points, so that is even in my one more point in my favor here. So I'm going to use this library to draw a bunch of cards, hopefully sift through things. This black market, I don't really need the black market, honestly. I need to see things like my expand. Masquerade is a good thing to see as well. Maybe he passes me something helpful. So I get rid of the black market. My city is going to fire here, and I do see the Masquerade. So unfortunately I'm not going to get anything too attractive out of the Masquerade. A masterpiece, which I do trash. The reason for trashing it is because it makes my forager a bit stronger. That is why I trash that. And now I have a couple ins here. So usually whenever you play a filter card like in or forum or something, you want to play all your cantrips first, like mill. I didn't play the mill here first because I didn't think I would be able to play all my ins plus my mill. So mill would probably be one of the cards I would have to discard, is what I thought. Now I do play the mill because I feel I could get away with playing with all the cards. Here, I don't think I could discard anything for the mill here. I need to keep the expand and the province in my hand because that allows me to mill one and then I just need money for two more, which I will have in the back, right? I haven't seen my ranger, which is going to give me +5 cards, which is why I wanted to play the ins, right? To get the plus actions down. Make sure I could play the ranger. But by this point, I feel fairly safe here, right? Able to mill our province, and now with a bunch of minions, I definitely will see my ranger, and I'll draw a bunch of cards back. So that is how game 5 ends here. It looked very scary when he picked up that ambassador, but you still have to try and play around it, right? You're not dead and blown out of the water just because he rips ambassador out here. Just try to play around it as best as possible, right? Truncate the game as best as you can. Alright, so that's how it ends, and thanks for watching.